Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. I hope everyone is doing okay. And I just want to say I'm sorry if any of you lost family members to the COVID virus. It's really a nightmare. If the worst thing that happens to us is we get stuck inside, we should be grateful to God. But I feel very bad for those of you who have lost family members. I'm sure a lot of people have. So, nothing we can do but stay inside and pray to God it runs its course and quick. So I made some mint tea. I buy the mint tea at Dollar Tree. I really like it. I'll show you. It's this one. So, okay, the first thing I want to make is a tasty salad. And out here I can buy these romaine lettuces for $1 for 3 heads. And I thought, since you love the hearts so much, why don't you just eat the hearts first? That was my brilliant idea. The hearts are the tastiest part. They're so tender and yummy. So today I was like a million other women. I was trying to say, what can I do? You know, I'm stuck in the house. So what I did was I worked a little bit on the house getting ready for Easter. This year I'm doing things a little bit different. Instead of making a lot of short videos, I'm posting photos on Instagram and Twitter. And also I'll be posting the recipes on my Twitter. Some people said they couldn't find it. The exact address is Rhoda Stone at 619 2008. But when I go to find my own Twitter, I can just go straight to, I can just enter Rhoda Stone Twitter and it comes right up. So I'm trying to work a little bit on some like indoor habitat type things, and I have 2 tomato plants. I'm trying to grow a little food and you know, just create little plant life all over the place because I'm doing the feng shui. In the feng shui, you have to, I have capers. Somebody asked what are they? They're flower pods. They're kind of sour and they give your salad a nice taste. And then I'll put some Parmesan cheese because I stockpile a lot of Parmesan cheese and it's easier than grating. And then at some point I bought some Roquefort dressing and I have some peppers. So there's the salad. That's number 1. Number 2, what did I make? This is a tasty quiche, a crazy cheap quiche. I've made this quite a few times, not recently, so that's why I thought first of all, it's really delicious leftover. Look, here's my quiche. So what I did was I made a pie crust, and I want to give you guys my pie crust recipe that I like. I use 1/2 cup shortening, 1 cup flour. I sifted it. a teaspoon of salt. If you don't add enough salt, your pie crust isn't going to taste as good. I added 1/2 cup shortening and 6 tablespoons water. I just mixed the salt and I cut the shortening in with 2 knives, and then I added icy cold water. And the trick is refrigerate it for a while, like about an hour before you you try to roll it out, and it's going to be so much easier to roll out. Okay, so now let's have a piece. This is really good leftover, but you can freeze it. I usually just keep it in the refrigerator, and then, you know, I eat it until it's gone. So what I did was my quiche is not too deep, because then it cooks faster. Otherwise, you're looking at like an hour. This way, you know, in around 20 minutes, your quiche. This isn't a very deep quiche, so, you know, you can have a big piece. Take a look at this. Oops. My bracelet fell off because I'm selling this bracelet, so I don't want to tighten it around my wrist. So this is not messy. So what I put in here was bacon. I fried 4 or 5 pieces of bacon ends, and then I had some jalapeno cheese from Dollar Tree, and I grated a little bit, just enough to cover the bottom of the pie crust. I made the pie crust and I baked it halfway, and then I covered the pie crust when it was done so my crust didn't burn. So I had bacon, cheese, and then 1 cup evaporated milk, and I could have used my dented cans, and 2 eggs. I could have added twice that if I wanted a deep dish quiche, and then just bake it long enough to you know, until the knife comes out clean. So this is a cheap meal. I think the prudent thing to do is find cheap meals. Even though we're being cheap, we still want to make some good food. The corn chowder I made with rice milk was really good. So now, what did I make for dessert? Well, I had to bake up a few more peanut butter cookies, so I made some thumbprint cookies, and the recipe is on my Twitter. Where can I put this? These cookies are really for Easter. We're going to have some chocolate cake and some cookies. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay. I made Alaskan Preppers dinner rolls. Go to Alaska Prepper and subscribe. I'll be eating those for my Easter dinner as well. Now, I wanted to mention a few things. How many minutes are we at? Okay. So I'm liking these habitats. I'm liking the idea of trying to grow. I bought these tomatoes for $1, and I managed to grow a couple of little ones last year, so I'm still trying. And I think moving like indoor plants inside is really a healthy thing to do too, and it goes good with the feng shui. My son has some fish, and I'm thinking about maybe getting some fish. So the feng shui involves cleaning your dwelling spotlessly clean. I've been cleaning on it since before Christmas, so it's starting to get pretty clean. But I had 2 problems. One was my eBay stuff, and 2 was my my food storage. It's a lot of work to keep it in one place. So I want to grow the garden for fun, and just for looking nice and in a healthy environment, and for food, you know, if possible. And I'm watching Joe Exotic. I'm on episode 3. If you haven't seen it and you have Netflix, I'm enjoying it. His nemesis that he tries to murder and now he's incarcerated ends up not to be such a angel herself. So you guys might want to check that out. Now I want to mention something. You can do a search and you can check out your governor's ranking. And so Governor Newsom of California, our governor, is ranked number 2, which is really good because we have a humongous state. Not that we don't have the COVID-19, we do. But he is doing a really good job. For one thing, you know, I went to the Senior Resource Center when I was sick for about a month. And you might be wondering, what did you do with all that food? I still have it. A lot of it's in my freezer, and then the rest of it is in my food storage. I didn't waste any of it, and I gave some away, quite a bit, because I had quite a bit of food. My ex-husband went in presenting with a stroke, and they said, "You're fine, go home." And a month later, he had another one, and a big blood clot was sitting on the top of his head. So I had no idea what was going to happen to me. I seemed to have come out of it. So now I really don't need the food, but the resource center called me today and said, if you need the food, come get it. So if you live in California, call 211. And you can keep track of the COVID-19 cases in your city. You just do a Google search. Okay, I won't be leaving my house. I will be keeping an eye on it because from yesterday to today, we went from 20 to 30 cases. So we jumped 10 cases in one day. Those are the reported cases. And so you might not think that sounds like much, but imagine you had 2,000 cases and it jumped to 3,000 cases. That would be the same percentage. And so they've sequestered us in our houses, and most likely what's happening where the COVID is, other family members are getting the COVID. So this could go on like China, or, you know, it could peak out. I tend to think it's not going to peak out, but I hope it does. But what you can do is you can watch your numbers of your city and see if it's going up. And if you see a big jump, then you know it's really not safe. So I canceled all my eBay again because it's just not safe. It's spiking. It could go up and up and up. We have no way of knowing. So far we've been lucky. There is a city in the East County with only 1 case. I would consider living there, but it's fire country. And I survived 2 hideous fires, and I don't want to live in fire country. So now what I'm doing is I'm preparing for the second wave, because they say no sooner is this going to be over, a second wave is coming. So what am I doing? Well, what I'm doing is I'm stocking up on stuff I know we didn't have this time. Toilet paper, Tylenol, masks, and gloves. Also, I'm preparing for a famine. And you go, well, why are you worried about a famine? Well, in the Bible, where you have pestilence, which is disease, famine follows. And I was watching a video. If I can find it again, I'll post it on my Twitter. And it was a guy, I think it was Venezuela, and one left and the other one stayed behind. And it was 20 things he wished he had known. And one thing was he wished he had gotten out. And 2 things is 1 year's food is not enough. You need at least 2 years. And then the other thing is find comfortable ways to exist inside. You know, today is our life just as much as next week, next month, and next year. And I heard about some of this stuff, And one of the things they say is open up your windows so you can get some sunlight in your house, or you know, find ways to go outside. That was in the case of war-torn countries, and they couldn't get outside, and is very, very unhealthy. Another thing I'm doing is eliminating almost all consumerism. You guys may remember that just before Christmas, I bought a lot of clothes for a cruise. And then the Mormon women were murdered by the cartel trying to get their lithium rights. And then this COVID virus. So I have been wearing my cruise clothes, yes. And I think I have gotten my my money's worth. I paid $1 for each blouse, and you know, so I threw them in the bedroom. And when I go to if I don't go on a cruise or I don't go on a trip, because I don't like the idea of sleeping in somebody else's bed right about now. No thank you. Anyway, I'll sell them at the swap meet for $3. So I'll get my money out. I wore them from Christmas until April 8th. Another thing I will be doing is reducing all the utilities I can. Not just now, forever. And I will keep an eye on the China model. What is a China model? Well, it's what's happened in China. Okay, China wasn't over this sequestering or self-isolation, which wasn't self-isolation, it was enforced in a couple weeks. No, it's been going on and on for months and months and months. So I am preparing for that. One of the reasons I don't want to go out until Monday is because there could be excess shopping for Easter. I dashed out to get a couple things this morning and it was fine, but by this afternoon it was not fine. I had a nightmare trip in Walmart. It was that bad. It was a nightmare. So another thing in China is they don't want any wasting. So I think it's a good idea. Wasting is going to cost you money. And another thing, in China, they're checking your garbage to see if you're wasting. So that's kind of like the China model. Okay, the other thing I'm doing is I'm buying dented cans. That'll really slash your food budget. And it might not be very appealing, but when you can multiply your groceries by 2 and more, and you start getting the hang of it. If I wasn't in the COVID mode, I would go each day to all the places I know that have markdowns, and I would see what they have. You know, this week I found about 6 cans of evaporated milk. It just happened to be there when I was there. I wasn't trying to pursue it. The other thing is damaged packages, and there's nothing wrong with the item. The package is just damaged. Markdowns like bread and bakery. I'm kind of shunning the bread and bakery now because I don't want other people's hands really touching my stuff. And then looking for sales. I'm eating my freezer down, and I will be packing it with lunch meat, cheese, sausage, chorizo, and hot dogs. Let me give you the, here is the cookie recipe, but if you want the whole thing, the thumbprint cookie recipe, just go to my Twitter. So I hope everyone is not letting this COVID-19 ruin their Easter. My birthday was shot because I was in the emergency room. I don't even remember Valentine's Day. And I didn't have a very good St. Patrick's Day. So soon I'll go back and redo them. I wanted to mention one more thing about selling. Okay, this is a super cute bracelet. Notice it's like little planets like Mars or Jupiter, and see it has a snake clasp. And then, you know, this is my copper bracelet that I sell. So if you could be thinking now, one of the preparations is how to make some money that doesn't involve somebody else employing you. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay healthy. And God bless you all.